Good morning from Mindful Minute. I hope you're having a really great morning. Some of you may be having your coffee right now or getting back from running the children to school. Well, I was thinking I would like to explain another technique that we use in our coaching. This is a really effective technique, and it's very simple. That's the thing with CBT, NLP, and a lot of the other coaching practices that we use. They are so simple, yet so effective. And they really get you to delve deep inside and uncover the person that you are. Many people after coaching sessions say that they've had a reconnection with the person that they were. Some people have developed new personalities simply from correcting and modifying some of their behavior. And so that brings me on to modifying rules and assumptions. Okay, so why do we want to modify rules and assumptions? Well, there are many reasons, but the main reason is it can hold us back from living the life that we deserve. Okay? So what is modifying rules and assumptions? Now, all of us have a view, a rule, an assumption, however you wish to word it, that actually is not beneficial for our lives. So a very basic example could be, if I don't work out 7 days a week, I am a loser. Okay. Or if this person does not believe my view on this, I cannot speak to them. Or if this person does not support my choice of government or leader, how could I possibly have a conversation with them? How could I have anything in common with them? Do you see, these rules or assumptions are very simple thought processes, but they can actually stop us doing many things. If you're exercising all the time, perhaps other areas of your life suffer. If you won't speak to people who don't have the same religious views as you, or perhaps you are cutting yourself off from learning about someone else's religion. If you don't speak to someone who doesn't have the same political view as you, well, then we're going to live in a very enclosed life where we're missing out on things that could be really beneficial, enriching. We need to learn to accept that everyone has their differences and we can all actually coexist. So the first thing we have to do when we want to modify a rule or assumption is obviously decide what that rule is. Okay? So the first thing, what is the rule or assumption or view I live by that I would like to modify? Now, often when people first come to coaching, they obviously don't see that rule. They don't see how something is holding them back. But we do have other exercises that lead them into realizing, well, if I modify this, my life is going to be 1,000,000 times better. Okay? So, first, decide what that rule is that you wish to change. So, for instance, as we said before, if I don't work out 7 days a week, I am a terrible person. Okay, so next we have to think about, how does this rule, assumption or view, how does it affect me in my everyday life? So, for instance, if this person, this gym bunny, and I love to do my fitness as well, but if this person needs to work out 7 days a week at a specific time, let's say, and one of his family members or her family members asks her to go for brunch, okay? Well, the brunch invitation sounds wonderful. There will be lots of family members there. Excuse me. There'll be lots of family members there. It's at this person's favorite restaurant. Oh, But hang on, no, I can't. I need to do my fitness at that specific time. So everyone gets together, this person is doing their fitness, they finish their fitness, and then they feel like they've missed out on something. Because they have. Because of this specific rule that they have that is so rigid, they're missing out on getting together with their family, going to their favorite restaurant. Perhaps there's a business opportunity there. Perhaps there's a new date there. So by keeping things so rigid, you are going to miss out on other experiences. Okay? So sometimes it helps to write down your very strict rules and then study those and think, how is this affecting me in my day-to-day life? Okay, now, excuse me, what are the origins of this rule or assumption? So where does this rule come from? Often, a lot of things in our personality, a lot of views, a lot of opinions do in fact stem from our childhood, okay? So how your parents were, what were their views? Now, if your parents were a certain way, perhaps they really wanted you to have the same views as them. Or alternatively, you just picked up on those views because you trusted them. These origins can also stem from your schooling, okay? Clubs that you attended when you were younger. And then some of these rules and behaviors can also come from your social life, your career. It's things that we hear constantly, a lifestyle, a way that we live. And when the people around us think a certain way, so as a collective, we can often think the same. Okay, it's human nature often to become part of the collective. It's the same with who do we think our president should be? Who do we think should be in government? It's often a group that can help you to create those views in your mind. Okay, so think back. Where did I learn this rule? Okay, now back when you were younger or in a particular company or with a particular person, these rules may well have been helpful, okay? However, obviously when we grow as a person, we need to adapt our life. So these rules will be constantly changing. And it's good to always go back and just think about who you are as a person and what rules or assumptions you have. Okay, so after you've decided what you would like to modify, how this rule affects you in your day-to-day life, and then what are the origins? Where did this rule come from? Okay, now you can write this down or think about it in your mind. What are the advantages of this rule? Okay, so it's probably really easy to find the advantages because often we will create our thoughts to coincide with our beliefs or what we think. But that's not really reality. So you're going to have to really look inside, okay, on this exercise. So the advantages of the rule for assumption, I'm sure it will be very easy to find those out. Then we have to decide what are the disadvantages of this rule or assumption. Now, if you've never looked at modifying your rules, your views, your behavior, this one might be slightly difficult, okay? So obviously this is where it's helpful to have a coach, someone who is unbiased, but can lead you to see what could actually be reality that you're not necessarily seeing. Okay, so the disadvantage of this rule or assumption. And the more you do this, the longer your list will be. Now, sometimes change can be very difficult for people. So, in order to modify this rule, you can simply say, is there an alternative to my rule that would be more flexible. Okay, so for instance, for the really simple fitness example that I gave at the beginning, now you could say, unless of course you're a pro athlete, you could say, okay, I'm going to make sure I work out 5 days a week, but on the weekend, I will take a break. Then that allows me to see my family, to have a social life, to spend more time with my children. Or if you must work out 7 days a week, you can also say to yourself, I will keep my very strict fitness regime. However, if an invitation ever comes up, I am allowed to go to said invitation without beating myself up. Okay? So modifying rules and assumptions is a very, very simple technique, but it does allow us to align our behavior, our views, our thoughts with the life that we want and the life that we deserve. And for many of us, we've never actually realized that perhaps our thinking could be slightly off kilter. Okay? So it's really good every so often, whether you have a coach or you're just doing your own self-growth, to really connect back with who you are and look at yourself and think, okay, what is not really working here? How can I improve my life? And it could also work for parenting. For instance, a mother who spends the day cleaning rather than attending to her toddler. Now, she thinks that she's doing everything for this toddler, a clean, safe environment. And of course, that's true. But if she modified her behavior, or he, if he's a stay-at-home father, if this parent modified their behavior to say, right, well, I will wake up an extra hour early, I will get some cleaning done, and then I will make time, I will schedule time. And even if the place is a mess, I will ignore it and focus on my child. This can work in every single environment. It can work with a manager at work. He's very strict, or she's very strict with the staff, but he's not getting the productivity levels that would be really beneficial to him and the growth of his company. So he could modify his behavior. So as I said, it works in every area of your life. Please try this at home if you're struggling with anything. Some people might be struggling to get back to work right now. I know in many parts of the world, places are opening up. So these kind of exercises can help you, okay? To help you grow and live the life that you need and want and deserve. It's really important to work on ourselves daily. Just like we exercise and we work on our muscles and our tone and our health and our lung health, it's really the same with the mind. And there are some countries that this is just not very popular in. And it's a shame, because it's really getting the most out of life by growing, looking inside, developing yourself. You will see the beauty of living when you really understand your interactions, who you are, how you can grow. So join us for a coaching session if that's something you're interested in. You can also email us if you have any questions. It's a free service that we offer. And if anyone is at home shielding, or someone is just really needing some help, you can email us and we will answer your questions. And as I've said before, our website is under construction, and we will have some useful tips there once it's up and running again. So I hope you all have a lovely, productive day. Be kind, send love, and really think about your actions and how you can modify your thoughts and your behavior to be a better person for you, but also for those around you and the world that we live in. Okay? So from Mindful Minute London, that's all for now. Take care.